Are you wondering how to create a Gantt chart in Excel? Well, if you are, then you've come to the right place, because today I'm going to be showing you step by step everything that you need to do in order to get one created. Now, first and foremost, I would just like to say that this Gantt chart is in many ways an MVP, or minimum viable product. It's not going to be the most elaborate Gantt chart there is, but it is going to enable you to create one quickly and easily. And I know as a project manager that time is of the essence, so that's one of the reasons why we're kind of going for the basic Gantt chart and why I should probably get on with it. So what I've done here is I've created a very basic subset of data. So we've got our tasks, and what I've done here is I've put in some main project management tasks. We've also got a start date, which I've changed the formatting to. So if I right click on those dates there, if I go format cells, I've changed this to date and I've put it in this kind of format just for your information. And then we've got the number of working days that each task takes. Now, for the purpose of this Gantt chart, these are going to be, as you can imagine, these are almost phases. So these are going to be tasks in succession. So just bear that in mind as we build out the Gantt chart, that you'll notice that each one follows on from the other. So what you need to do, and the best way to do so to create your Gantt chart, is if you click Insert at the top, then if you click, you can either click the Recommended Charts button, or you can click on this kind of bar button. And the reason why you can do either is I know what one we're going to use. That's kind of the longer version of doing it. So what you're going to want to use, or either I recommend using, is the 3D bar, and you're looking for the stacked bar option. So you just click that here, and that's going to basically open up an empty kind of canvas that we're going to build it from. So as you can see, nothing in there at the moment. This is the chart area. So make this nice and big so you can see what you're doing. Now, what we need to do now is start adding the data. So right click on your mouse, and then what you want to do is click Select Data. And you'll notice this is completely blank. So, and this is the easiest way to do it in my opinion. So for the legend entries, you first need to add the start date. So in the series name, so make sure that you're kind of in here. This is kind of selected, and then with your mouse, left click on start date. So that's the series name. So the series name is the start date, and the series values, you want to delete this out, and you just basically want to select all of the dates. So I've left clicked and I've dragged to the bottom, and you'll notice in the chart area that's kind of populated here. Press OK. So we've got our start date. Now the other bit of information we need to add at this stage is the working days. So click Add Again in the Legend Entries section, and we want to, again, series name, select the heading, number of working days, and the series of values, you can probably predict what we're going to do. Going to left click here and drag down to the bottom and press OK. And as you can see, we've got this kind of updated in the bottom here. You can see this kind of stacked bar starting to work. Now what we need to do is we need to change the horizontal axis. So by default we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't want that. So instead click Edit, and the axis label range is going to be our tasks. So left click and select all the way down. We don't want to select the task row, or that's going to bring that into the graph as well, or the chart. We don't want that. So just start from the first task that you have down to the bottom. Once you're done, hit OK, and you'll notice that that's pulled it into the, well, our soon to be Gantt chart. At this stage, I'd recommend hitting OK. And you may notice at this stage that these are in the wrong order. So what we need to do is we need to flip these around. And the way to do that is if you left click on your mouse and make sure they're selected, or double left click, I should say. So I've double left click there, and you'll see this has popped up on the right hand side. And there is an option, if you look closely, called Categories in Reverse Order. Now if we select that, that will do two things. One, it will put these kind of in the correct order with planning at the top, and it will also bring our dates to the top, which is obviously what we want to do. We want the dates to be at the top. So that's kind of a key button, don't forget to select that. And as I say, you get there by clicking on this axis, and then under the axis options, make sure that that is selected. From here, as you can imagine, for a Gantt chart, I'm just going to move this down a little bit. This kind of blue section is actually not the date. It's unwanted space. So all we need to do here is basically get rid of it. So make sure that that's selected. So I've clicked on the blue here, and you should see an outline if you have got it selected. Right click, and we're going to format the data point. No, I'm actually not going to do that. I think that's how you do it, but I'm going to do it a different way. Double left click, always, well, it is the same thing actually, but double left click's actually a little bit easier than right click, that kind of way. So double left click, and then in the fill, we want to change this. So at the moment the fill is blue, we want this to be no fill. And I've not selected all of them. So let me go back. So the reason why that, we want to select all of them. So make sure they're all selected. So you've got some lessons in here by my mistakes. So make sure they're all selected, and then put no fill. And as you can see, our Gantt chart is starting to shape up, albeit with a few mistakes along the way. So don't make those when you make yours. Right, so as you'll see, we're nearly there. One thing you want to do at this stage, what I would at least recommend doing, is as you can see that the Gantt chart starts at a weird kind of place. We've got kind of 2 months or 3 months, I should say, in 2020 that we don't need. This starts in January. We want to get rid of this kind of empty space. We want to bring the Gantt chart forward. So in order to do that, what we need to do is, if you select the top here, so the top axis, the horizontal axis, double left click. Now here you can see the bounds. So we have a minimum and a maximum, and these numbers essentially they represent dates. And so this basically is the number version of 05/11/2020, so the 5th of November. So what we need to do here is we want to start this in January. So you could fiddle with these numbers and try and find out what the number is. It's going to take you a long time. Trust me, I've been there. So what the best thing to do would be is click off of your Gantt chart. We are going to copy the first date in the Gantt chart, bring it down to another cell, and then I'm going to right click. We're going to format the cells, and we're going to change this to general, and you will see that gives us the number that we need. So if we go back into the Gantt chart horizontal axis, we're going to click the axis options, and under here bounds, we need to bring this number in. So basically I'm going to select that, copy and paste, go back in there, axis options, put that in there, hit enter, and you will notice it has brought it across. So there we go, the Gantt chart looks great. It starts from the start of the year and goes throughout. And as I say with my dates earlier, these are in succession, so you'll see it's a hard kind of stop and start, but you may get in your own Gantt chart, tasks overlapping. It really depends on your task. So add the tasks that you need for your Gantt chart, and just add the dates, and you will see the Gantt chart reflects that if you set it up properly. So one other quick thing, we've got it at the start of the year. If I quickly just change this date here to the 5th, that might be a little bit nicer on the eye, just to show you what that looks like. So I'm just changing that here. So that would be 01, and then that would be 2021, and then that, as you'll see, you've got that little gap there. I recommend doing it. You don't want to overlap from the start, so you just bear that in mind. I would probably put the start to a few days before your first plan, your first task. So we're nearly there. The only thing really left to do is just apply a little bit of formatting to make it look a little bit better. So I would change the orange. I mean, I quite like orange, but for a Gantt chart, it's probably a bit too vibrant. So make sure they're all selected. Again, double left click. And what we're doing here is on the fill and line, you'll see this is the color. What we want to basically do, I would recommend kind of a gray, probably a little bit boring, but I've done it again, haven't I? I've not selected them all, but we want something, grey is probably a little bit better for this use case. So put them all in grey, and that's, much better in my opinion. Now, the last thing that we can do is we can just change some of the layout options, which just brings it to light a little bit and just makes it a little bit more user friendly. So what we want to do is make sure we have the whole chart area selected, and then you've got all of these options in the chart styles at the top. Probably wouldn't mess with them. One quick one that's really useful is if you go to quick layout. So what I did there, sorry, I probably should have just walked through that a little bit more slowly if you're following along. So select the plot area, make sure chart design is selected at the top, and then under quick layout, you can look through all of these to see what one kind of works for you. But in my opinion, the one you want to really use is layout 5. And that's because, as you'll see, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. It gives you all of the data at the bottom. So anyone kind of accessing this, or if you use the snipping tool or you want to get this out of Excel, then you've got the data in there. And it also gives you a title. So you could add that as a text box, but let's just say Gantt Chart, excuse me, for project YouTube. That sounds good, doesn't it? So there we go. I can't spell YouTube. YouTuber. Right, YouTube. Let's make this bold and let's just bring that out. And there you go. We have a Gantt chart for Project YouTube. And that didn't take us too long, did it, really? And of course, there are much more complex ways of doing this. You might need a more complex way, and I'm not trying to change your mind on that. That is something you maybe want to consider and look into. But this is your basic Gantt chart, and it should, for the most part, serve your purposes. So if this video was useful, please do hit the like button. That tells me that this video was useful and I should continue making videos like this. And do consider subscribing as well. I've got a lot of videos on my channel, a lot of how-tos of how to create project management artifacts and tools and recommendations along the way. And that little bell button, if you click that, then you'll be notified of when I release new videos like this. And with all of that said, I hope you have an excellent day.